This is application example 307-1 in the 2015 International Building Code Illustrated Handbook. The problem statement gives the following. There's a fully sprinkler group F1 storage building housing Class 2 combustible liquids. The liquids are all stored in approved safety cans, and the entire building is a single control area. Determine the maximum allowable quantity of Class 2 liquids permitted in the storage to maintain the Group F1 classification. The appropriate section of the IBC to consult for this problem is Section 307, High Hazard Group H Occupancies. When the total quantity of hazardous chemicals that pose either a physical or health hazard exceeds certain limitations, then the occupancy classification of a building becomes a Group H occupancy, as opposed to the occupancy classification that it would otherwise most closely resemble. In this particular problem, the building is classified as a factory F1, assuming that the quantity of Class 2 combustible materials does not exceed the maximum allowable quantity, or MAQ, per control area. The problem statement specifies that the entire building is a single control area. If the building had multiple control areas, then they would need to be separated from one another in accordance with Table 414.2.2. You can see from the table that there are a maximum number of control areas per story, and the MAQ permitted within each control area, based on the MAQs specified in Table 307.1, decrease as floors get further away from the grade plane. So on to Table 307.1, which is the MAQ table for hazardous materials that pose a physical risk, such as fire or explosion. Table 307.12 specifies the MAQs for hazardous materials that pose a health risk. I've cut and pasted the appropriate rows for combustible liquids from Table 307.11, and as you can see, for Type 2 combustible liquids, the MAQ for storage is 120 gallons. Note, however, that there are table footnotes next to the value, footnotes D and E, both of which permit a multiplier to the table value under certain situations. Footnote D permits a 100% increase in the table value in buildings equipped throughout with an NFPA 13 sprinkler system. Footnote E permits an additional 100% increase when the liquid is stored inside of approved listed safety cans. The solution to the problem, therefore, is the base value shown in Table 307.11 increased 100% for a fully sprinklered building and increased an additional 100% for storing the liquid in listed safety cans. The modifiers in the footnotes permit the base MAQ of 120 gallons, which is specified in Table 307.11, to be increased to 4 times its value, resulting in a maximum allowable quantity of 480 gallons in the building while still maintaining its Group F classification.